The average person spends almost a full hour every single day talking about other people, and you would swear to anyone who asked that you can't stand it. You hate drama. You really believe that. And then your phone buzzes on the table, and it's that one friend who only ever texts when something has actually gone down, and the message just says, "You are not going to believe what she did. Whatever you were doing 5 seconds ago is gone. You're in. Fully, completely in. Already leaning toward the screen." When one team tracked it, the average came out around 52 minutes a day. Almost an hour every day of your one short life spent on the quiet business of who did what to who. And we carry it like a guilty little habit. But here's what nobody tells you. That itch, the one that makes you lean in the second someone drops their voice, might be the single reason you can speak at all. The drama you cannot look away from is older than language itself, and by the end of this, you are never going to look at the phone in your hand the same way again. Hold on to all three of those, because I am going to pay every one of them off. Your ancestors didn't just enjoy this. Once upon a time, it was the thing keeping them alive. Here's where it gets strange. To explain the thing in your hand, I have to take you somewhere that looks nothing like it. A troop of monkeys sitting in the warm sun, slowly picking through each other's fur. Watch closely, because what they're doing isn't what you think, and it's the exact same thing you did the last time your phone buzzed. You've always figured grooming was about fleas and dirt. Mostly, it isn't. For a monkey, grooming is the entire social glue. It's how you say, "I'm on your side." It's how you build alliances, calm a friend down, prove you can be trusted. The monkeys with the most grooming partners survive the bad days because when it all goes wrong, they have backup. But grooming has a brutal ceiling built right into it. You can only do it to one body at a time. Sit there working through one friend's fur and there goes your whole afternoon. For a small group, fine. The trouble is, our ancestors started living in bigger and bigger groups and the math quietly broke. If the only way to stay bonded is to physically groom someone, then at some point there are simply not enough hours in the day. The group grows too big to hold together with your hands. This is the puzzle the anthropologist Robin Dunbar chased his whole career, and it gave us his famous and hotly argued over estimate of around 150 people. And somewhere along the line, our ancestors stumbled onto a cheat, a way to groom several people at the exact same moment, a way to do it in the dark with your hands full, even with someone sitting clear across the fire. They started using their voices. But what that one cheat unlocked is bigger than anyone saw coming, and that is exactly where this turns. In Dunbar's telling, this is the moment everything changes. You can keep 3 or 4 people bonded at once with your voice, while you're walking, while you're working, while your hands are nowhere near them. He called it vocal grooming. Language, if he's right, didn't show up so we could recite poetry or count the stars. On his theory, it showed up because grooming couldn't scale, and a growing group needed a brand new way to stay stitched together. And here's the question that should stop you cold. If language replaced grooming, then what did we actually use this miracle tool for? Not the meaning of life, not the weather, each other. When Dunbar listened in on ordinary conversation, he found that roughly 2/3 of it was social by his count. Who is doing what to who is with who can be trusted and who absolutely cannot. So pay off what I promised you. Gossip isn't some lazy misuse of this beautiful gift. Gossip is the gift. It is the thing the gift was wrapped around. This is what older than language actually means. You didn't learn to talk and then start gossiping. If Dunbar's right, your ancestors learned to talk so that they could gossip, which leaves 2 things burning, and they're the strangest part of all. If this is that fundamental, why does it feel a little shameful? And why does your brain seem to reward it almost like a drug? Hold both of those, because we are about to answer both. Let's take the shame head on, because you're probably already thinking it. Sure, but gossip is cruel. It's rumors. It's people getting quietly torn apart behind their backs. And honestly, you're not wrong. Turned into a weapon, gossip absolutely wrecks people, and pretending otherwise would be a lie. But the actual data tells a much softer story than you'd guess. A researcher named Megan Robbins recorded how people really spend their days and sorted out what they were doing every time they talked about someone who wasn't in the room. Only a small slice of it was nasty. In her data, around 3 out of every 4 pieces of gossip were completely neutral. Not cruel, not even flattering, just plain information. Who's moving away? Who got the new job? Who is seeing who now? And that sounds boring until you realize what it means. We are not a species of bullies muttering in corners. We are a species running constant, quiet surveillance on each other. And your brain treats that surveillance like a 5-star meal, which raises the question that actually matters. Why would a harmless little habit feel that good? That little jolt you get when somebody leans in close and goes, "Okay, don't repeat this." That isn't proof you're a bad person. It's a reward signal. Your brain treats that information as something genuinely valuable, the same way it treats food and good news. But here's the thing, evolution does not hand out a reward that strong for something trivial. A pull that powerful means gossip wasn't passing the time at all. It was doing something far more serious. So what exactly was it for? That answer is darker than you think. Because back then, Information about people was the literal difference between living and dying. Picture your life in a tribe. Everything you have, your food, your safety, your kids making it through the night, all of it hangs on a tiny handful of people around you, so you desperately need to know which of them you can actually count on. Who shares the meat when the hunt goes well? Who quietly takes more than their share? Who is brave when it matters and who vanishes the second things get hard? Trust the wrong person back then, and it could cost you everything. The catch is, you can't personally test all of them. You can't follow everyone around for years, so you do the next best thing a clever animal can do. You pool everyone's experience. You find out what happened to other people, so it doesn't have to happen to you. That is gossip. And in one Berkeley experiment, you could see how physical this gets. When people watch someone behave selfishly, their heart rate tended to climb, like a tiny alarm going off inside them, and being allowed to pass on a warning to tell the next person what they had just seen seemed to settle that alarm back down. Gossip was the original reputation system, the cheat catcher. The reason everyone stayed a little more honest, because the group was always watching and always talking. And here is the part that should make the hair on your arms stand up. That always watching machine never switched off. We just handed it 1,000 times more people. Which brings us at last to the thing sitting in your hand right now. Social media is that exact same survival tool with the brakes torn clean off, and you felt it. Remember the very first thing I promised you, the drama you cannot look away from. Here's where it lives now. You've watched two people you'll never meet fight in a comment section like it was a fire you physically couldn't step away from, swearing you'd close the app, thumb still scrolling. That right there is why you can't look away. That is not a flaw in you. That is an ancient instinct built to track one small tribe, suddenly aimed at millions of strangers at once. Think about how strange this actually is. You know things about people you have never met and never will. You hold firm opinions on the private lives of total strangers. Your brain isn't broken. It just can't tell the difference between your real tribe and the face on the screen, so it quietly files all of them under the same heading. People whose reputation I need to keep track of. And the apps know this. They are engineered very deliberately to keep feeding the oldest hunger you own. So no, you are not shallow for caring about the drama. You're running a survival program in a world that figured out how to hijack it. That pull you feel when the group chat lights up, when someone says you didn't hear this from me, is the same pull that kept your ancestors alive around a fire tens of thousands of years ago. It is the oldest conversation in the world, and it is still going, right there in your pocket, tonight.